Hey guys, today's video is going to be on how to get a really fast letdown when you're breastfeeding. And just to start, sorry that my hair is always wet in the videos, but I always take a shower when my baby goes down for a nap, and that's also when I film. So yeah, anyways, so how I get a really fast letdown when I'm breastfeeding or pumping is the first thing you can do is when you're full, you can get, you might need help if you're pumping with this, but you can get someone to put a hot compress on your breasts and instantly the milk will just get let down. So this is good. When I pump, I like to do this when I'm really full and the milk just comes out really fast. Another thing you can do is this works only sometimes for me, which is kind of weird, but you can look, if your baby's not around, you can look at a picture of your baby and like while you're pumping or breastfeeding, if you're nursing your baby's right there, so that, you know, that takes care of that. But if you're pumping, then you can look at a photo of your baby, and this should start the letdown reflex, and it should come down a lot quicker as well. Like I said, this only works once in a while for me, and I don't know why. It's just like hit and miss. Another thing that actually works 100% of the time for me is if my baby's napping and I'm pumping and so he's not around, then I will get like one of his shirts or something like that and just kind of sniff it while pumping. And I know it sounds weird, but that also lets the letdown reflex go. One other thing that I also like to do is if my baby's screaming, right away my milk just starts coming, so that's when I usually pump as well. But I only can do this if my husband's around, because if my baby just keeps screaming, I don't have time to pump. I have to take care of the baby. But when my husband's here, he'll kind of like, I'll wait a little bit and I can pump, and then, you know, he can be watching the baby, so that really helps as well. As for the last point that I just gave about the baby crying, this works really well for me during the night when I pump. If my baby wakes up, which now he actually does sleep through the night, but when he wakes up, I'll make sure that I start pumping right away, because he always cries when he wakes up. And that gets my milk coming out quick, and then my husband will take the baby and start feeding him while I'm pumping. So those are just some tips that work really well for me. And I know sometimes if you're pumping, for you pumping moms out there, I know a lot of times pumping will take so much longer just because it takes a while to get the letdown going. But if you do these, at least it works for me. Then I noticed that my pumping, it gets cut by 5 minutes because the milk comes out just a lot quicker, and then I don't have to pump as long. So those are just some tips, and I hope you guys find them helpful. I hope they work for you, and thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you in my next video. Have a good day. Bye.